Hello, I'm Catherine. Welcome to 6 Minute English, where we engage in some lively debate and discuss stimulating item of vocabulary. And let's start. Here your cup of coffee, Rob. Thank. But what took you so long, Catherine? Sorry, Rob. I bumped into somebody I knew in the cafe and stopped for a chat. Okay, well, that fit well with today. So, where we talking about cafe and coffee house? Did you know, Catherine, that coffee house were original meeting place for lively debate and intellectual discussion? Really, I didn't know that's Rob. A debate, by the way, mean discussion that a lot of people take part in. So, how long ago was this debating society? The first coffee house was set up in Oxford 1615, but they quickly became popular and soon they were all over London too. You pay a penny to get in, and it include access to newspaper and stimulating conversation. If something stimulating is encouraged idea and and enthusiasm, I attach to coffee have with that appreciated. It certainly helped me first thing in morning, which bring me into today's question, Rob. How many cup of coffee do we consume in the coffee shop or store in the UK every year? Consume, by the way, another word for each or drink. Is it A 2.3 million, P 23 million, or C 23 billion? Oh, I don't know, first it's got to be a lot of so I'm going to go for C 23 billion. That should like a lot of coffee. But I buy several cups of it, and I bet you do too, Catherine. I do indeed. But I have to say, while I was getting out coffee earlier, there was nobody else in the cafe taking except me and my friend. Everybody was sitting on their own, typing away on their laptop. Let's listen now to Douglas Fraser, PPT Cortland's business and economy editor, describing the vibe or atmosphere in typical 21st century cafe. 10 or so in the morning, the cafe had five people at the table with their back to wall, each staring into twin lighting. Earless, the blind by through this coffee shop free Wi-Fi is chamberty. The customer the diverse destination far from the person beside them. Collaborative working, a reserve rank application, a potential blockbuster novel, and inevitably someone distracted by kitchen picture or social media. So spirit although 17th century coffee house had disappeared then, no more lively debate and intellectual this discussion. It seems so rare. As Dogma Racer says, many people sit alone plugged into their laptop and they on doing different things, working, writing, messing about on social media. I think the cafe owners should turn up the free Wi-Fi and force their cafe's water to move on. I don't think people should be allowed to sit on their using the internet, hugging table, and not talking any party. Especially when some of them don't even buy a cafe. That a big extreme drop. Cafe honor this customer and they encourage people to stay by having compliant sofas and newspaper to read and the free Wi-Fi as water. By the way, is someone who lives an empty building with spraying rain. And if you hurt something you more or orifice in a selfish way, I support you right. Now, how about telling us the answer to today's question then? I asked how many cups of coffee do we consume in cafe or store in the UK every year? Is it A 2.3 million, P 223 million, or C 23 billion? I could sit in a cafe and use their free Wi-Fi to research the answer, but I have guessed and say 23 billion. Well, you didn't need that free Wi-Fi, Rob, because you were absolutely right. 23 billion coffees per year would count on average as 45, 45 cups per adult in UK. Okay, I think it's time we look back at the word we learned today. Our first word is debate, a discussion that a lot of people take part in. For example, I took part in a number stimulating debate at school. Number two, if something stimulating, encourage new idea and enthusiasm. For example, it's hard to have stimulating conversation with some who looking at their phone on time. That's very true. Let me just slide my phone into my pocket there. Our next word consume, another word for eating or drinking. But it can also mean to you. For example, my car consumes a lot of petrol. Or how to calculate my car fuel consumption. So consumption there is the noun. Number four is vibe, which means the mood or atmosphere in the play. For example, Oxford is a city, but it has small town vibe. I'm getting bad vibe from our next word, which water. That's someone who lives in an empty building without paying rent. The building is called its ward. So, for example, I lived in one for 2 years. Really? You noticed it was rough? No, it was just an example. It's not water. You never noticed? No, I haven't. Look, we're watching time here. We need to move on to our final word. Hug. If you hug something, you you on a small up in a selfish way. For example, Rob, you hug the only coffee chair. That is so selfish. I admit it, Catherine. I'm a chair hard. That is now okay. Before we head up for another cup of coffee, please remember to check out our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube page. Bye. Goodbye.